Independent variables, dependent variables, constants, and controls. The way that you can figure out the independent and dependent variables, start off with creating a hypothesis. A hypothesis is an if-then statement. For instance, we say, if I drink Mountain Dew before bed, then I will not sleep very much. If you come up with an if-then statement, then you'll be able to tell what the independent and the dependent variable are. The if part is the independent variable. They both start with the letter I. All right. The then is the dependent variable. It's the thing that comes in the end of the experiment, the result that you get. So that's a good way to say it. So in this case, if I drink Mountain Dew before bed, then I will not sleep very much. Well, the independent variable, they also call that the manipulated variable, is what I do. That's another I thing. Independence I. It's the if part. So if I drink Mountain Dew, well, the independent variable is how much Mountain Dew do you drink? The result of drinking that Mountain Dew is the then, or the dependent, or the end result is how much sleep do you get? So if you can come up with an if-then statement, it'll help you out a lot with the independent and dependent variables. Constants and controls. The control group is the thing that you set aside to compare it to. It's the thing that either under normal conditions or you can remove the independent variable altogether. Either one of those situations will work for the control group. And the reason why you need it is, again, to compare. If I had a pea plant and I was putting fertilizer on it to see if the fertilizer worked, I would want to set one aside with the independent variable removed. I wouldn't have any fertilizer on it at all, or under normal conditions. Again, we're trying to add fertilizer and see if it helps grow. Well, normally we didn't used to put fertilizer on it. So we would set it aside and see how it grew. And if the one that I had with fertilizer grew 2 feet tall, well, I wouldn't know if that's good or bad if I didn't have something to compare it to. If my control group, the one without the fertilizer, was only 2 inches tall, then I'll say, yeah, that fertilizer worked really well. And so I would assess it, say, if I add the fertilizer, then my plants will grow better. I would support that hypothesis. However, if my fertilizer plant was 2 feet tall and my control group was also 2 feet tall, the one that didn't get any fertilizer, then I would say, well, it probably didn't help very much. Constants are everything else you want to keep the same. You want to isolate that one thing that you're testing. For instance, whether you put fertilizer on it or not. You want to isolate that one thing you're testing. You want everything else, nothing else should make a difference except for that one thing you're testing. You want it to get the same type of plants, pea plants. You want to get the same amount of sunlight, same amount of water, same type of soil, the same size of the pot you put it in. Everything should be the same because you don't want anything influencing your experiment except for that one thing that you're trying to figure out and test, whether fertilizer helps you to grow your pea plants better. Up here with the if I drink Mountain Dew before bed, then I will not get much sleep. Well, my control group would be, if I remove the independent variable under normal conditions, I wouldn't drink any Mountain Dew. I wouldn't drink it before I go to bed, and see how much sleep I normally get, and see if drinking Mountain Dew affects my ability to sleep very good. So the control group wouldn't have any Mountain Dew. Constants in that experiment, you would want to have the same bed you sleep in because that can make a difference. If you sleep in an uncomfortable bed, that might mess with your sleep patterns. The time you go to bed, that should be a constant. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night before normally, then go to bed at 10 o'clock when you drink your Mountain Dew. If you have a TV on in the room normally, then keep the TV on when you drink your Mountain Dew, or a fan on. Whatever you normally do, constants, you want everything to be the same. You want to have the same, everything else, you want nothing else to influence it except for that one thing you're testing if you drink Mountain Dew before you go to bed at night.